At first, it looked like nothing, just a dark bite taken out of a mountainside. No sign, no fence, no warning. Max had been hiking for hours, following a narrow trail that didn't show up on his map. Wind, loose rock, the kind of place that makes you watch every step. Then he saw it, a hole in the mountain. Too clean to be a crack, too round to feel natural. It was small enough to miss if you weren't looking, but once you saw it, you couldn't stop. Max walked closer. The air near the opening felt different. Not colder, heavier. Darkness inside wasn't empty. It shimmered. Not like water, not like dust, like something alive, but silent. Max lifted his flashlight. The beam didn't travel far. It hit a wall of pale shapes and broke into a soft glow, like the light had been swallowed and re-released. Crystals. Not the little sharp pieces people buy in souvenir shops. These were massive, thick beams, locked into the rock like frozen lightning. Max didn't speak. He didn't smile. He just stared, trying to understand how something so beautiful could feel so wrong. Then his hand slipped on the stone. A small scrape, a tiny sound, and the cave answered. A faint crack, somewhere deeper inside rock. Max froze. He told himself it was nothing, just rock settling. But the sound came again, closer this time. A slow ticking, like glass under pressure. He backed up a step. That's when he noticed the water. The floor near the entrance wasn't dry. A thin film covered the stone, clear as oil. His boot left a wet print that didn't fade. And the air Max swallowed, his throat felt tight, like the cave was squeezing it. He checked his phone. No signal. He looked back into the hole. The crystals were still glowing, but now he could see something else. A haze, hanging low, moving in lazy waves. His skin prickled. Max had heard stories about caves like this, places that look harmless from the outside, but inside, the air itself is the trap. He stepped in anyway. 2 steps, 3. The world changed immediately. Heat hit him like a wall. Not warm, not summer day. This was furnace heat, wrapped in wet air. Max blinked fast. His eyelashes felt damp. He inhaled and regretted it. The breath felt thick, like breathing through a towel. His chest tightened. He tried to laugh it off, but his sweat didn't cool him. It just stayed on his skin. The crystals ahead looked unreal now, towering over him. White, transparent, so clear they seemed to hold light inside. Max moved closer, drawn in, and then he understood the first rule of this place. You don't notice you're dying until your body starts counting down for you. His heart thudded harder. His mouth went dry. His hands began to tremble. He turned to leave, and the entrance looked smaller than before. Not physically, just farther. Max stumbled backward, and the wet rock stole his footing. He caught himself on the wall, and his palm touched crystal. Ice cold. Impossible in that heat. A sharp jolt ran up his arm. Not pain. Something like vibration. The cave ticked again. This time, it wasn't rock. It was the crystal, responding. For a second, his flashlight caught movement inside it. Not a shape. Not an animal. Just the air. Folding around something. Max whispered one word without meaning to. No. Because he finally realized what the hole really was. Not an entrance. A lid. He backed out until the wind hit his face. Only then did he breathe properly. Max sat on a rock, staring at the hole like it might blink. He remembered something he'd once read about crystal chambers deep underground, so hot and so wet that a person without protection could last only minutes before their lungs started to fail. Air temperatures near 58 degrees Celsius. Humidity pushing 99%. Beautiful and deadly. Max didn't go back in. Not that day. He stayed seated for a long time, watching the opening like it might breathe. The wind moved past it, but the hole itself stayed still. Too still. When he finally stood, his legs felt weak, not tired, drained. He marked the location on his GPS anyway, not with a name, just a symbol. On the hike back, his head throbbed, a dull pressure behind the eyes. He blamed the altitude. He was wrong. That night, Max couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the glow, not bright, muted, like something waiting. By morning, the headache hadn't faded. His hands still shook when he tried to pour water, and his throat burned no matter how much he drank. He told himself it was nothing. 2 days later, he went back. This time, he wasn't alone. He convinced himself that more people meant more safety, more eyes, more proof that he hadn't imagined any of it. They reached the mountain just before noon. The hole was still there, same size, same shape, but the ground around it looked different, darkened. Damn, one of them pointed at the rock face. Water was slowly seeping from hairline cracks, trailing downward like sweat. No one joked this time. They stood in silence, listening. Nothing. Max felt it again, that pressure, like the mountain was aware of them. They tied a rope to a nearby outcrop, not to climb, just in case. Max didn't volunteer to go first. Another man crouched near the opening and aimed his light inside. The beam vanished almost immediately. "It's deeper than it looks," someone said. That's when the rope shifted. Not pulled, not yanked, just tightened. Everyone noticed. No one spoke. The man froze, half inside the hole, half out. His breathing grew loud and fast. "Back up," Max said. Slowly, the man tried. The rope resisted. Not strongly, just enough to be wrong. They pulled together. The man collapsed backward, coughing hard, hands on his chest. His skin was red, too red. He tried to speak. Nothing came out. They dragged him away from the opening until the wind hit his face. Only then did his breathing slow. He didn't look back. Neither did anyone else. They should have left then. They didn't. Curiosity has a way of surviving fear. They set up a camera instead. No people, no bodies, just a lens on a pole extended into the hole. The screen showed crystal almost immediately, bigger than Max remembered. The glow was stronger now, pulsing faintly, like a heartbeat. The air on the screen looked distorted. Not smoke, not steam, movement. Someone whispered, "Zoom in." They didn't. The camera cut out, dead battery, fully charged minutes before. They packed up in silence. On the way down the mountain, Max noticed something else. The headache was gone, so was the shaking. Instead, there was a strange calm, too calm. That night, Max dreamed of pressure, of heat, of light pressing against glass. He woke up gasping. Over the next few days, the story spread. Not details, just hints. A hole, crystals, something rare. People wanted coordinates. Max hesitated. He remembered the man on the rope, the way the cave answered sound, the air that didn't want to be breathed. But the messages kept coming. Scientists, explorers, content creators, everyone asking the same thing. Is it safe? Max didn't answer. Someone found it anyway. Not because Max told them, because places like that don't stay hidden. A team arrived with equipment, protective suits, air monitors. They didn't let Max join them. He waited outside. Minutes passed. Then alarms. Not loud, urgent. They backed out fast. One of them tore off his helmet and vomited onto the rock. Another sat down hard, staring at nothing. Their instruments showed numbers Max didn't understand, but their faces did. Later, one of them spoke quietly. The chamber wasn't just hot. It wasn't just humid. It was sealed, perfectly, for thousands of years. The crystals weren't decoration. They were the walls of a pressure system, holding in heat, holding in gas. One wrong fracture, one collapse, and the mountain wouldn't cave in. It would exhale, a blast of superheated toxic air, invisible, instant. Anyone nearby wouldn't run, wouldn't scream. Their lungs would simply stop working. The hole wasn't a miracle. It was a vow. They sealed it. Concrete, steel. Warning markers placed far back from the side. No signs explaining why. Just keep away. Max never shared the coordinate. Sometimes he still dreams of the glow. Not bright. Waiting. If they hadn't looked closer, no one would have known.